All right, guys, BaconClaus here. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Um, I thought I'd go ahead and make a video. I've got a lot of questions over the years as to how to actually make the bacon, and I've been making bacon for friends and family and coworkers for the last 6 or 7 years. Um, there's really kind of 6 steps. 3 are small and 3 are big steps. So the first step is buying the whole pork bellies. Generally go to Costco for that. If it comes without the skin on it, great. If not, you have to take the skin off. So the first big step, sort of step number 2 after getting the pork bellies, is to go ahead and put the pork bellies on cure. So you need to put them in a bag with all the cure, and we'll go ahead and talk about how to do that. After they cure, and that takes about 2 weeks, and you need to flip them over that time period. What you do is wash all the cure off and then put them back in the fridge. So that's the next little step. And once it's gotten cold again, you take them and then put them in, you go ahead and smoke them. That's the next big step, and that takes about 4 or 5 hours. Then the next step after that, which is the little step, is to put them back in the fridge and let them get cold again. And then the final step is the slicing and packaging, and that step takes probably the longest amount of time, depending on how much you've made. But that's pretty much it, and we'll go ahead and show you how to do it. I've got these new meta glasses, so this was a good time to show you how to make bacon. So if you want to make bacon, the pork belly sometimes comes with the skin off, or you can have the butcher cut it off. Costco used to sell it with the skin off, but now they sell it with the skin on. So you have 2 options. One option is to take the skin off before you cure it, and the other is to leave it on and then take it off when it's a lot easier after you smoke it. The downside of that is you don't get the cure as well penetrated because it's hard to get through that skin. So a couple ways to do this to remove the skin while it's cold. One is you want to make sure the pork is cold. The second is that once you get it started, there's a couple ways you can either have it flipped over and roll the meat up, or have the meat side down like I'm doing here, and then use the weight of the meat to kind of pull down. And you want a real sharp knife to be doing this, but this seems to be working okay for me, so this is what I'm doing. And then once I get all this skin off, I'll show you how I do the cure. So when you finish, you're left with something like this. Most of the fat cap is still on, and then you got your pork belly, and then the skin has been separated here. You can cut this up into bits and use it for cracklings. I'm gonna do that for a couple of these, but not for every one. Just it's more cracklings than we could possibly ever eat. The skin is pretty tough, and like I said, you want a real sharp knife. So the next step in the process is to put it into a bag and put it on cure. You can use a Ziploc bag. I use these rolls of vacuum bagging. It just makes it easier, and the width is about the right size for the bacon, so once the skin is off, it'll conform to the size of the width of the bag. I'll show you next how I put everything on cure. So you got your pork belly in the bag. I use just a piece of cardboard to help weigh it. This is going to be 3.3 kilograms. And I keep an Excel file to calculate everything out pretty easily. So pretty much everything for cure is going to be brown sugar, salt, pepper, and then number 1 curing salt, which is this stuff right here, which is sodium nitrite. The proportions are important. Using weight is probably the easiest way to do it. For this year, I decided I usually put espresso shots in there. I'm going to try using instant espresso powder instead. So we'll see how that goes. And then I'm also substituting, I usually use a 1.5% brown sugar, but I'm going to use half of that as maple syrup to see how that goes as well. I usually try something different each year, and this is something I do for coworkers and for family and friends as a Christmas gift every year. So now I'm just going to weigh everything out and get it all mixed together. So you can see I have two different scales here. One's more of a fine scale for smaller volumes, goes down to 2 decimal places, can't weigh as much with it. But that works really well. You want to be pretty accurate with the #1 salt. This is my regular salt. You know, you can use, I think, just about any kind of salt. I mean, salt is salt. So 67 grams, a little bit over there. Next I'm going to put in the pepper, so that's going to be 16.5 grams. You can use a fine or a coarse ground. Got a coarse ground. Fine may actually be a little bit better just because we get into the tissue a little bit better. So the curing salt's going to be 8.25 grams. Forgot to grab a spoon, so I'm just using a knife that is clean. All right. And then the espresso, this one's not as important for accuracy. This is also 8.5, I'll probably go a little over. Don't intend to keep this stuff. Should be more than enough for next round. All right. Now that I've got this all mixed together, I'm just going to use 2 cups to get it mixed well before I put the sugar in. The sugar tends to want to clump a little bit. All right. And then the sugar is going to be 33 grams brown sugar. You can use white sugar, but brown sugar is a little bit better. And then last but not least is going to be our brown sugar. Excuse me, our maple syrup, which we're going to do 16.5. All right, so we've got our cure all mixed up together here, pretty well mixed together, and this part is to get a nice even cure. The better way to do it would be to put it all on there on a clean surface and then drop it in. I just kind of dump it in. And then you can see with the width of this, the bacon turns out to be about 10 inches wide, and that's about the right size for the slicing at the end. Here's our measured out maple syrup. I'm just going to dump that on in, and there it goes. These are done curing. We'll go ahead and make another video to show how to get them set up for smoking and then packaging. That'll be the third part in this series. All right, hope you all enjoyed this. Thanks, bye. This slab I had cut in half and the bag leaked on me. And for the first time in 5 or 6 years of doing this, I've had one that didn't quite get penetrated. You can see in the light here that the pink salts made it through this upper portion, but down here lower that still is uncured pork, and we're not going to take a chance with that. And unfortunately, it's going to go in the garbage. Alright, so the curing process has been going on for about 2 weeks now. This is, you can see the pink color of the pork through the plastic there. The next step is to go ahead and take it off of cure, so just opening up your bag. And that dark color is from the coffee that I added. But the key thing here with the taking it off the cure is just to wash all the cure off. So with cold water running under the sink there, you can see the pink color from the curing salt, which is that #1 Prague powder, which is the sodium nitrite, not nitrate, which is important distinction. But this is all that's involved in taking it off of cure. And the step after this is basically just to put it back in the refrigerator and let the surface of this to get kind of hard, form a pedicle, and then it'll be ready for smoking. This is pretty much all that's involved. I'm just getting some of the excess pepper and everything off of there too. And then I generally will put some pepper back on top of it when I smoke it, and I'll show that in the next video. So here we have the slabs all off the refrigerator, and the pedicle is formed. It's kind of a little bit dried out and tacky. I just cut into this slab as well just to take a look, and you can see that that pink has gotten all the way through. So that's what you want to see, that your curing salts have made it and penetrated all the way through the meat. Now it's time to put them on the smoker, and certainly can do a single or 2 slabs on a smaller smoker, but with this much bacon, need the larger smoker to go ahead and get everything cured at once. Otherwise, once this is smoked, it'll go back in the fridge overnight and get cold again, and then I'll slice it and package it probably in the next couple days. So there they are. We've got 4.5, and sadly our one fallen soldier in there. I'll let these cool down a bit. It's cold outside right now. It's currently, yeah, I know there's a person under the deck, 45 degrees, so about as cold as it is in the fridge. Once they cool off a bit, I'll stick them in the fridge to cool overnight. And the next video will be the slicing and packaging, which will be the final step in the bacon production. All right, final stage. Here's one of Santa's helpers, and there's the other one. We're going to be slicing the bacon today and packaging it, and that's the final step before we distribute it. Get everything cleaned up. I have one of these slicers, which makes it easier, and then the surface sanitizer to get everything clean. And we'll go ahead and slice it. I've got this set at 2, which in theory is 2 millimeters, but we may turn that up, make it a little thicker. We'll see how we go here. Hey, Meta, stop recording. All right, we're going to 3. The temperature out right now is 39 degrees, so good day to be cutting bacon. Everything stays nice and cold like it's in the fridge. And starting our slicing process here. Yeah.
Should I bring the bags over?
Yeah, go ahead and bring the bags over. You can see our bacon's got a nice pink color through it, which means the curing salt's got all the way through it. And then also the smoked edges. The first several slices on this are little bits, and we generally just put that together in a bag for making cooking dishes. Just set them over there on top of the kegerator. Say that again, Char.
No.
My elf just asked for... BaconClaus elf just asked to discuss, he said, exactly, now is a good time to discuss my small fee. So what's your fee, Char?
$10 an hour.
What?
Okay, fine, $5.
We'll think about it.
Where's the glove stuff?
Sit. Well, happy holidays, everybody. Hope everyone learned something about bacon today. So it basically comes down to cure, smoke, slice. And as far as cooking it, I recommend the oven at 400 degrees until you get it as crispy as you like. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.